Referencing the mandate itself, you need to be aware, if you're not already, that you're standing on some very shaky legal ground. On March 27, 2020, Alan Wilson, the Attorney General of South Carolina, issued an opinion letter of guidance which addresses the power that municipalities have to enact emergency measures. His opinion, reaffirming an earlier opinion from 1980, concludes, quote, "Counties and municipalities should be aware that any unauthorized exercise of such emergency powers could subject these political subdivisions to liability at the behest of a private citizen with requisite legal standing." In short, this council does not have the jurisdiction to continue to declare a state of emergency or to enact a mandate as part of such a declaration. Only the governor has those powers, as granted by the South Carolina General Assembly. In continuing to extend this mandate, you are further subjecting the county and yourselves to potential legal challenges, not to mention pushback at the voting booths.
Although we continue to make positive strides in combating COVID-19, staff does recommend that we extend this ordinance through April 27th. We believe this extension, coupled with our increase in vaccine availability throughout the county and the region across the state, will help us and be beneficial in supporting our return to work strategy that's been outlined by staff across the county.
Because the state has lifted the mask mandate, the county is still free to impose or lift ordinances as it chooses, correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct. Earlier this evening, you heard a gentleman talk about a March 29th, 2020 Attorney General's opinion as it relates to the governor and the emergency ordinance and the powers. The main focus and thrust of that particular opinion was the ability for counties to exempt or override what the state was doing versus what the state was doing and what a county can do. Long story short, pursuant to South Carolina Code 4-9-130, this council and councils across the state can pass these emergency ordinances because they have been authorized by the Home Rule Act to do so in order to protect life and liberty. The underlying thrust of that main opinion was that it's the governor who has certain specific duties and responsibilities, and they can't conflict, i.e. the county can't do something more than what the governor is doing. But in this instance, the county can directly continue to pass an emergency ordinance, even though the governor has passed or has taken action via executive order in slightly different directions and capacities based upon his statutory duties and responsibilities.
My position is to err on the side of precaution and protection. We don't know what's going to happen when these kids get back in school. You know, we've been kind of laissez-faire, and your teachers are first-line people. Your cafeteria workers, your bus drivers, anyone going into the school facility is subject to. Not everybody's concern and maintenance and addressing the issue of this COVID, it's not consistent.
If we do not pass the mandate tonight, tomorrow, most of you or all of you are going to wear your mask when you go into a business and when you leave your home. Why don't you think the residents of Georgetown County are smart enough to wear their mask without you having to tell them? Are we that much smarter than everybody else in Georgetown County just because we were fortunate enough to get elected to hold these offices? No, we're not.